everyone, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. Today is episode 144 of the brand new coffee show, and as you can see, I'm not alone. I got my good friend Bob here with me. Bob, how you doing today?
Well, I'm doing like pretty fantastic. I'm inside this new environment,
That's right.
which is amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're here for the show. This is how could it get any better?
That's right. We are on the Bueller bus, so we got to try it out. You know, I will just let you guys know this is the first time really shooting a video on the bus, so
Woo!
There might be some kinks in the video, and things aren't quite done yet. You can see the paint up there is not fully done, and we're missing a couple shells actually that's going to go right here. But you know, I got to give it a shot. I got to get used to filming on here.
Yeah.
We're using a different camera for this as well because we need a wide angle because we're wide guys.
Mm.
You know what are you going to do? There's a lot of trickery going on right now. And we got another camera angle right there. You got one right there as well. You
Sweet.
can say hello.
Hey.
So we're going to be doing some really cool things. But the regular video, we'll have the regular stuff like we always do. So it should be a lot of fun. The first thing we start off with the coffee we're drinking today. And Bob, we're having Mocha Express this week. Last week we had comics on coffee.
Comics on coffee.
This week we stopped by Mocha Express on the way to the bus. I'm having the eggnog latte, which you kind of like, where's your eggnog?
Nice.
So I'm having that right now, which is so good. Let me take a sip.
Very cool.
Eggnog is even better on the bus, man.
You know what's even better on the bus?
What your drink?
You bought this for me.
Well, there you go, man.
This is my normal Americano with
Yeah?
some sugar-free vanilla sweetener, and it was brewed with cinnamon, and I love it.
What's it called? It's got a name, right?
The CJ. Just put it like that.
The CJ. She's
He calls it the Caitlyn Jenner.
the Caitlyn Jenner goes to the ball.
Right there. Did you put whipped cream in that?
No, there's no.
Okay.
There's no. She didn't, or he didn't go to the. I don't know. They didn't go to the ball
Right.
on that one.
I
So
just had to put my pinky up to drink it.
there you go. But nobody went to the ball on mine either.
No? Okay.
That didn't sound good.
No, it
Anyway,
didn't.
let me take another sip.
Kind of wash that down a little bit.
Yeah, and I noticed that this camera tends to focus in and out every now and then. I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. So if it does focus in and out, my apologies. We'll try to switch to another camera if it does that for too long.
Sure.
But anyway, let's go ahead and get a rundown of what we got on the show today. We'll start off with our announcements and thank yous as usual. We have our first 5 brought to you by Bird City Comics. We have got our topic brought to you by Black Box Comics. And our topic today is actually Bob's topic. And you want to just kind of say what it is a little bit?
Yeah. Recently we had video games kind of influence comic books. We had the Spider-Man game. Definitely raised the price of the Miles Morales comic books. And then we've had some other instances in the past where comics have kind of influenced, video games have kind of influenced comics and vice versa. And I was actually going to do a show with my cousin because he does a gaming show, and we were going to talk about how video games don't seem to hit the mark when it comes to comic book properties, and we're going to talk about why. And I thought this would be a great subject to do right now because we're in the digital age. Comic books are definitely a big influence on a lot of things, and I thought it would be a great topic for the show.
Absolutely. He picked all the comments. I made sure to give him all the long ones to read and all that stuff. That's why there's a smiley face on his little sheet of paper there.
There we go.
But pretty much video games and comic books, the influences the video games do, and probably vice versa. Anything having to do with video games and comic books, that's kind of what we're going to hit on today. We'll have our final 5 brought to you by Bird City Comics. Then we have our Was It Good segment brought to you by Comics on Coffee. Like I said last week, they have their discount Christmas, which you get 20% off right now instead of 15% off with the Bueller code. I think that obviously goes through Christmas, maybe a little bit longer. Then we'll have our random thoughts, and I know Bob's looking forward to this one because we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, which I know he went and saw, and Hawkeye. Look, he's all happy face right now. But I will just tell you right now, we're going to talk about some spoilers.
Spoilers.
It's Monday. It's out for the weekend. So when we get to the Spider-Man stuff, we'll say spoilers. You might want to tune out if you haven't watched it, but we're going to pretty much talk pretty much the major spoilers that are in. I already know them. I probably knew them before you did. I just never said nothing to you because he stayed away and everything. And that will kind of round out the show. So it should be a lot of fun. And like I said, we're on the bus for the first time. Episode 144 on the bus.
This is awesome.
Yeah, and next week you're not going to be, or no, next week's Christmas, so we're not doing a show.
Right.
And then the week after that, you're out of town as well.
Out of town, and we got our special guest coming on.
Yeah, we have Damien Sleepy Reader going to come on. I don't know if we'll be on the bus, but we'll probably be shooting more on the bus as we get closer to the other stuff because, like I said, I have to work out the kinks and everything. Might as well use Bob as my guinea pig.
Why not?
And these chairs are really comfortable.
They are.
First thing Bob said, "Ooh, we don't have to take a break anymore." So we're just lounging, relaxing on the bus, and this is how it's going to be. So
this is awesome.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
This would be like just the coolest place to just kick back and have some coffee and talk comics.
That's what it's going to be, man. But instead of you, it's going to be Tom McFarlane. Not that you know you're great and everything, but or it's going to be Brian Michael Bendis. Yeah, he's a little guy. So
right.
I have to put a little booster seat up there for him.
Can I sit outside the bus like I'm
still? Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
So but we'll have a whole bunch of creators and guests and really cool people on the bus.
It'll be awesome.
Hopefully, I have my drawers all put away and everything. So
there you go.
You've seen them, so whatever.
The clothesline hanging out with.
So anyway, let's go ahead and get to some of our announcements and thank yous. So I have a homework assignment for you, the viewer, and this is actually brought up to me by my publisher sponsor, Black Box Comics. And as you guys know, they've been with us from the very beginning, a very long time. They've been very good to us. And I want to return the favor. And when I say return the favor, there is some shops that they are not in, and they've tried to get into, and they haven't been able to get into these shops. So he reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you know any one of these shops?" and stuff. I go, "Really, I don't. I knew one of the list. But for the most part, I really haven't visited them yet, but I will." That's where your guys' homework comes in. I'm asking you guys to help me out. These might be your shops. I have 8 different shops. I'm going to tell you what they are. I want you to do me a favor. If these are any of your shops, let me know in the comments down below. Just say, "Yeah, I go to that shop. It's a shop in my area. I go there." Let me know if it is, and then I will contact you. But let me tell you what the shops are first. We have Third Eye Comics. I believe that's in Baltimore. They have multiple shops. Some of these I don't know where they're at. There's one called First Aid Comics. There's House of Secrets in Burbank. There's Newberry Comics. Amalgam in Philly. That's what it's called. Amalgam. Amalgam? Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I got this guy here. Amalgam in Philly. There's JAF Comics, Cloud City Comics, and Black Star Collectibles. Those are all different comic shops that do not carry Black Box Comics yet. What I want to do, I want to hear from you guys. If you guys know of these shops, let me know in the comments down below. I'll contact you. If you could do me a favor, just go say, "Hey, why don't you guys check out Black Box Comics at that shop?" If you go to Third Eye Comics, go there and say, "Hey, why don't you guys carry Black Box? Carry Shinokage." Shinokage is like the only samurai comic that's out
right now.
To be totally honest.
Gin Hunter is another one.
Exactly. Really, so that's kind of the assignment. Let me know if you're familiar with any of these shops, and if you are, then I'll get in contact with you and see if we can't work something out. Because we're trying to make a difference. We're trying to get this publisher some more eyes on them, and if we can tell you guys if something you guys want to see, because if you use these shops and obviously they don't carry them, but then you might be missing out on these books. Bob loves it. I love them. They're really good. So anyway, let me know in the comments down below. And when I say, I said last week that the show makes a difference, and I really think it does. And this is the type of thing to where we can make a difference. I can't really help Marvel too much. They're doing just fine.
Yeah.
But we can help Black Box Comics, or we can help Second Sight Publishing. Second Sight Publishing. We can help these publishers and get them out there more. And that's kind of what we do. I'm not going to say I'm taking credit for this, because I don't think, well, it's kind of hard to say, but let me just say something. Just a few weeks ago, we did a video about the business practices of CGC.
Yeah.
And just in those last 6 to 7 weeks, their practices have changed.
They have.
And changed for the better. Now, I'm not saying we had something to do with that.
You can't.
But 7,000 people watched that video. And that's a number that CGC won't just pass by.
Right.
They won't just sit there and say, "Oh, that doesn't mean nothing." That means that 7,000 people said, "What do they mean the CGC business practices are not right?"
Right.
You know, in all the comments. I don't know whether CGC or someone there saw that, but there's a good chance maybe someone heard about it. And maybe that sparked something. I don't know, but I'm just saying, the 7,000 people who watch that video make a difference.
Absolutely.
And whether it be CGC or someone else, it maybe. You never know.
Right.
So I'm just putting it out there. It does make it. If they see a number that says 7,000 people watch this video, it's going to weigh a lot more heavy than 10 people watch the video.
Absolutely.
So I'm just saying, it's getting better. And maybe if we had a little bit to do with it, great. If not, still great. So we'll take it. Let's see. I already said we're not having a show next week because of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas time, so we're presents and fat and eat and
Absolutely.
all that good stuff. So
I'm getting comics.
I did want to say, I did this before. It's been up there for a while. Since we're in the bus, I have an Amazon van life wish list for the bus, and I'll leave a link down there. It is Christmas time. Some people have asked if they could help out or whatnot. I have a wish list for things I need for the bus. Now, I will tell you this right now. I have everything I need. Everything I need for the bus, I already have. The stuff that's on there now are just recommendations that people have given me. They say, hey, you might want this, you might want this. But everything I need, I already have. But if you want to take a look at the list, and if you want to help, contribute something to the bus, you want to do that, you are more than welcome to. I'll leave a link down below. It's my van life wish list. I mean, it's just, like I said, I have everything I need. There's just some extra stuff here and there that would help out, make the quality of life a little bit better.
Sure.
And so that's what the list is. So if you want to check it out, please do so. It'll be up all through Christmas. Or it'll be up till forever, because I keep on adding stuff to it when people say, why don't you put a gift card for Taco Bell on there? I'm like, that's a good idea. So I literally, it said, how many gift cards do you want? I listed 365.
Yeah, right? A chalupa a day, man.
Yeah, chalupa a day. So, I mean, whatever. Yeah, I just filled it out. So, anyway, thank you so much. Also, I want to say thank you to the Super Chats from last week, and also our Patreon members. If you want to join our Patreon, it's the price of one comic book a month, $3.99 a month. If you think Bob's worth one comic book a month, if you think I'm worth one comic book a month, if you want to keep the lights going and the wheels rolling and Bob's stomach flowing, he's starting to showing. Anyway, join our Patreon. We appreciate it quite a bit. Okay, we got all that done.
Sounds good.
All right, let's go on to our regular stuff here. And our first 5 brought to you by Bird City Comics. Go to their website, birdcitycomics.com, enter code Bueller. Save 10% on comics, t-shirts, hats, underwear. I think they got underwear coming out. I don't know.
Got the merch.
Got a picture of me on the front.
Right.
Maybe the back.
That'd be amazing.
Bob, you want to go first?
Sure. All right. So I brought some Daredevil covers from the Chip Zdarsky run. And these ones I kind of wanted to highlight because these were the Julian Tedesco covers. And I wish they'd go back to these. I just absolutely love these. So here's issue number 18. Let me see if I can angle that a little bit better.
I'll do the banner for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Look at that.
And then we got issue number 13.
We're working on the glare.
Yeah.
The glare is always a thing.
But I just love these Tedesco covers. I thought they were awesome for this particular series, and I wish they really would have kept them going. I love the Chichetto covers, but the look and feel of these were just amazing. There you go. And then the last one I got is issue 9, which is probably one of my favorite.
Chichetto?
Chichetto.
Is it Chichetto?
Yeah, but this is Julian Tedesco.
Tedesco?
Tedesco.
Are they related?
I don't think so.
I don't know. You're a real big fan of that Daredevil guy, aren't you?
I am.
Pretty happy guy right now?
Pretty happy guy
Pretty
right
happy?
now. Yeah.
Give me a break. All right, I got my 5.
All right, let me take these down.
All right. I'll be my own Vanna. I'm good at it.
You're
That's right. So this is She-Hulk number 10. I just like that cover, so I just wanted to show that a little bit there. She-Hulk number 10.
Nice.
She's all looking all sexy. This is Soul Plumber number 1, like the second printing. I found this because I heard it was pretty good. I wanted to read it. Did you read Soul Plumber?
I have not.
Okay, so I picked that up. It's like a 6-issue series, so looking forward to it. Here is Marvel Tales 100 Spider-Man. That's kind of cool. I used to have the original. Now I just have this one. But not bad. The original one is pretty cool looking.
Yeah, it is.
This is one of the only X-Men books I kept because it was signed by Neil Adams, X-Men 62. And, Neil Adams, let's be honest, he's not really looking that healthy these days and stuff like that, he's up there in age. But he's still doing his thing or whatnot. So do me a favor, check out Krusty Bucket. He's always on Facebook or whatnot. If you guys want to stop in there and buy some of his art that he's working on and stuff, you can do that. So
he's still going strong with the art, man.
And he still wears the same blue shirt
every day.
Yeah, I mean, you stick to what you like, right?
Right.
But anyway, this is one of my X-Men that I kept, and that's because it's signed by Neil Adams. All right, I almost dropped my book here, but I caught it. This one right here is PTSD, and this was I talked about this a few months back, and this was a Kickstarter that I backed, and one of our viewers, big fan of ours, did this book, and I got a chance to read. This is a shiny cover. You can't really tell, but it's a really cool looking cover.
It is.
And I'm going to review it on our Was It Good segment when I get to that. And honestly, this is the type of book to where it's, look at the title, PTSD. I mean, you're not going to feel. It's not going to make you feel warm and fuzzy.
Right.
The goal of this book is to put you in the place and kind of make you feel what they're going for, or what they're going through. And that's kind of what it does. So when I get to that a little bit later, we'll talk about it and do a little review. So I want to say thank you. I got this in the mail with some other stuff, and it's pretty cool. And there, I think I got the glare off it, or at least
some of it. There you go.
So anyway, that's our first 5.
Great first 5.
Brought to you by Bird City Comics. I think it's going pretty well. I'm looking at the thing here. I think are we recording? I think it's recording.
I think it's recording. I hope it's recording.
Let's double check here. Yeah, it's recording.
All right.
That would really suck if it didn't record. It's a learning process. So anyway, all right. Let's go on to our next segment, our topic. And our topic, like I said, is brought to you by Black Box Comics. So their website and their code Bueller10. Save 10% on all their books, all sorts of good stuff. Your favorite book or one of your favorites. They got other ones coming out as well. And I can't remember the name of it. We were just talking about it.
Yeah, with the girl on the cover.
The girl, and she's like Animal Lover.
Right.
I think it's called Animal Lover. That's not what it's called.
That's not what it's called.
They're going to get pissed.
I'm bad with names.
They're going to get pissed. It's not called Animal Lover. But that's pretty cool. They got some cool covers, so, it should be a good title.
Yeah.
So. And they got other stuff in the works as well. Volume 2 of some other titles that you know already. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say, so I kind of hesitated when I mentioned that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to the topic.
Let's do it.
So our topic, like I said, it's all about video games and comic books and how the video games can affect your comic books and vice versa and everything in between. I will go first with the comments here, and I'm going to weigh heavy on Bob because this is Bob's baby. He asked me about doing this topic. I actually had a different topic already planned, but I kind of put Bob through the ringer a little bit. I said, okay, give me some examples of what we could talk about, and he did. So I was like, okay, let's do it. You took the time to do it, so I'm like, we're good. So anyway, I'm up first, and I'm going to read On the Bus. This is from Arctic Flavas. Flavas? This is, I would love to see a representation of video game IP flood with the comic world. That would get more younger generations into comics. It can work if done right, like Batman, Fortnite, or Justice League series. It takes good marketing and good analysis of knowing what the audience wants. Great topic. Well, look at you. The guy likes your topic. So what's your thoughts on that, Bob?
Well, I mean, we have tons of, comic book IP inside of the movie arena, which is, I mean, that's a very easy thing to do. But I think the video game industry is ripe for some of these IPs to be made into games. Because with the game, you can get into long form storytelling.
Yeah.
I mean, when you play the Arkham Knight games or when you play the Spider-Man game, those are long form storytelling. It's like you're playing in the comic book. And so if you were to have, a comic book property that you could port over into a game, like taking the We Live comic book, just an example, and port that into kind of this post-apocalyptic world, they'd be kind of free-form roaming. I think would be amazing.
So you want to see comic books go to the video game format is what you're looking for.
Also, right? Okay. I mean, I think, it kind of goes...
Like We Live, like do a game based on that book.
Sure.
And go from there.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're looking for?
So, I mean, I'm looking for all aspects here when we're talking about this subject, and this is one of them. As much as comic books are being made into movies, I think more comic books could be made into video games and create a whole market that would be just amazing. And we've kind of seen some of the, how some of these properties have affected the aftermarket. Imagine if we were to take, something like The Kingsman and make it into a game. Or, you take... I don't want to get into Marvel and DC properties. Those are too easy.
Sure.
But what if you were to take Matt Kick's Bang, and make that into a video game where you're kind of like this James Bond type spy, right? I think those are it's kind of ripe for that type of thing to happen, and we're not seeing much of it happen. It's mostly the movies.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a great idea. I think we need more of that type of thing inside of video games.
I I look at that. I can see where you're coming from. A video game project is a lot of money to jump on. That might be the thing that they're hesitant about doing, because the track record. I was in the video game industry. I worked for Microsoft for a couple of years on the Xbox One, and I worked for. I can't remember. I don't know for sure. What came after 360? Was Xbox One?
Xbox One.
Yeah, okay. I got all mixed up with the names because they're all One X, One X GX, or whatever it is. Anyway, I worked on that one. I also worked at Software Etc. for like 8 years. The history, the video game tie-ins to comic books has not been great. It was the ports have not been that great, except for a few exceptions recently. And when I say recently, I'm talking about the Spider-Man one or the Batman Arkham Knights. For most of the record, it's been like, oh, they have a comic book, they make the video game. It's not that great, doesn't sell very well, doesn't translate, and it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to make those games.
Sure.
So that's kind of like, that probably will hold a lot of people off to take these titles, especially if you're talking about like We Live, which is an independent, property or whatnot, and putting that bank behind them. I think more independent developers could do it, but a lot of these independent developers take forever.
And there's some other comments in here that gets into some of the reasons why those ports didn't work.
Sure.
If you didn't have any type of time constraint where they could actually work on the game for a while, and then release it without having to have a timeline with which to drive to, I think some of these IPs or some of these ports would have been much more successful.
Sure.
But we'll get into that for sure.
Awesome. All right, I got the next one as well. This is from Zerb14. Is that a game?
I don't know.
It says, I think video games is a perfect combination. As soon as you finish a good video game, you wish you had more stories. That's true. You wish to know more about the characters or an event. But the problem is that a video game can take 2 to 4 years to develop. That's referring. So if you want more content, you have to wait. If we include comics with video games, it could be a way to keep people interested on the franchises. For example, I would love a comic series about Dishonored or BioShock. I would buy every single issue. I play both of those games. They'd be great translations to comic books. And actually, they do a few. And for some reason, they make them. I've noticed that Destiny's a big game. Okay, I played Destiny for an obscene amount of hours.
Yeah.
Embarrassing amount of hours. You don't measure it in like how many days. You literally measure it in years.
Right.
how many years? Full years have I played it.
Right.
There's more than one.
Sure.
Anyway, but they've done digital comics for that game in between releases of Destiny, and I think that's more of a. I think that would be more of a reasonable thing for them to do, to be honest, because it's on a digital platform anyway.
Sure.
And it kind of translates, because there's cutscenes in the video games, and some of them are shot like comic books,
right?
And they just translate that over, or what's that called? Motion
comics, yeah.
A lot of them are shot like that or whatnot. So I have seen the translation from, them making some comics, but they put them in a digital format. I think there's a lot of stuff we're probably missing. That does hit the digital. They don't even think to make the paper version, because it's a different area that they go to. Cyberpunk is another one that's a video game. It's maybe not a good example, because apparently that Cyberpunk's not very great. It has a lot of problems, but they put out the book at the same time, and by Dark Horse, I believe. Then Dark Horse actually does quite a few video games.
Yeah.
They're probably the ones that do the most at this time. Unfortunately, I don't really. I bought Cyberpunk, the video game, but I didn't have any desire to buy the book. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when it comes to this type of subject, it's not a fit all for everybody. It's creating possibilities for both sides, to benefit. I think comic books could definitely benefit from, like you just said with Destiny, creating those digital comic books that you could read after to continue the story. I think there's people out there that become such fans, they like to see the story go on more. If you could create a movie, but again, that's a huge amount of money to do for maybe a small fan base. But creating some digital comics, then you get people that may not have ever been into comics before. They read those, and now they dip their toe into the other comic books that are out there because they liked what they were seeing. Yeah. That's the type of thing that I would love to see in the market to kind of, stir things up a little bit, to bring new people in.
Yeah.
And I think, being able to have a relationship between video games and comics is a way to do that.
Didn't GameStop, which is like the main place to go to buy games, didn't they try to sell comics for a little while? Or wasn't that their plan?
I don't know.
I thought I heard something like that. If you guys know, let me know. But I don't know. Maybe it was just a pilot thing and they were took off. But I thought I heard that they were going to sell comic books. But no, I thought for a while they were actually going to carry comic books in the stores. And I think that's a good fit. I think it's a good fit. I think they should. How they do it, I don't know. They'd have to bag and board them.
Sure.
For all this stuff or whatnot. And whether they want their associates doing that, I don't know. But I think it'd be a good fit. I think that'd be a good spot to put comic books and stuff like that, because they definitely dipped in the collectible market.
Sure.
And trying to do some toys and figures and all that stuff. Why not put comic books in there as well? So maybe they carry a couple here and there, but they should have a whole section.
I think so too. It's just another place for people to be exposed to comic books that normally wouldn't be going into a comic book store.
It might be the price point. Maybe it's not a high enough price point for them.
That's probably
like
true.
How much shelf space do you give a item with a $3.99 price point? Because that comes
that's
to
a
mind.
good point.
That is something. They look at that all the time. How much shelf space do I give this item? Is it worth me giving this much shelf space when I have this $60 item that literally takes less shelf space because the box is smaller than the cover, and this thing is $60 and this thing is $4, but yet I have to display all these? That comes into play. So maybe that's a conversation they have, because all that stuff that's in there. If you go to GameStop, you look on the end cap, it has the advertisements for that stuff. That's where GameStop makes a lot of their money. Those end caps aren't just there because they're like, oh yeah, this week we're going to promote Tomb Raider.
Right.
The place that Eidos pays to put their stuff on that end cap. I know that's how we made when I was there for software, etc. Grand Theft Auto paid to have their stuff on that end cap right in this display, and that we made more money displaying it than we did selling it.
So you know what I tell that guy who's worried about that? You can have your shelves, and we'll just put a spinner rack right here. How about that?
Spinner racks. There you go. I got the next one here.
All right.
This is from DC Patrol. He says, I don't play many video games, but those I do are superhero related.
That's right.
However, for me, like the movies, none of that plays a factor into what the price of a comic is worth. That said, if video games can get kids reading comics, then I'm all for it. I love the Lego ones because it's accessible for younger audience. Part of me wishes those games were sold with mini comic books. Some were. Some came with little. For sure,
little but I like how he's talking about how if he does play a video game, it's usually superhero based.
Sure.
I have been an avid gamer for years and avid comic book collector for years. But there was a time period in the last 20 years that I had to put both of them down. And when I started coming back, when I played video games, it was Arkham Asylum. It was the Spider-Man game. It was those are the ones I was most interested in, because when I was growing up, those are the ones that I was most excited to see. I wanted to play those characters just as much as I wanted to see them on screen. And so video games has been an arena that I think I've wanted to have done well for a long time, just because I want to play them.
Sure.
I thought the Spider-Man game was amazing. The Arkham game, I think, was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
The combat system inside of that is absolutely elegant, and I love it. I could sit there and just pop into a game even now and just play some of the like mission levels and just fight people for an hour and just walk away. Love it. Absolutely love it. And I wish they would do more like that. And again, there's a lot of these properties that have not been successful, and it's because of time.
Yeah. It's
because they've been driving towards a certain thing, and it just doesn't work that way. And we'll definitely get into that more. But I just wanted to highlight that there's an audience of people out there who are not gamers, but they would play video games if the superheroes were in there.
He also mentions the video game affecting the value of comic or the worth. Do we hit on that later on?
I think I don't remember which comments though, but we can go ahead and hit on it now. But okay. I mean, when I think about how video games affect the price of comics, I mean the main one was the Spider-Man game coming out, and the first appearance of Miles Morales. I mean, shot up even higher in price. I think before the video game came out, it was sitting around $300 to $500, and the video game starts coming out, and very quickly it started rising until it's what, $1,400-$1,500 now. And I can't say that was all the video game, but it sure started shooting up in price when the video game came out. And so it was one of those things that really struck me, that now we're in the age where video games can affect the price of these things like movies can.
So I'm going to give my take on that. And I wanted to talk about that, and I think I voiced my opinion before. I think we hit it a long time ago.
Yeah, we did.
I honestly think, now that time has passed, that was fabricated.
Really?
I think that was totally manufactured to raise the price, and people got behind it, and it was market manipulation. I do not think that a video game should affect a comic book or a character. I mean, the reason I said it, they already made a movie about it. They already did a movie, about that character. The whole Enter the Spider-Verse. That's a whole animated movie that tons of people saw. It wasn't he's been in other Lego Marvel games, so it wasn't like his first appearance or whatnot. I totally think, I'm not trying to burst anyone's bubble, but I think that was totally manipulated and manufactured from people trying to pump up that book.
So people that control the aftermarket, because I mean the regular market doesn't have any effect at all.
Yeah.
Right. So you're saying that they tried to influence the aftermarket.
Yes. I think they saw something that they could focus on to try to get that book up in price, and like, we need something to focus on now. The movie's run its course. It's kind of dying down. We need something else to focus on to try to keep this book even more valuable. And how about the video game? And I really do think it was manufactured. I don't think that the I'll give you an example. Avengers came out, okay? And what is the first chapter of that Avengers game? You're playing as the girl.
Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan.
That was fun, by the way.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Great game. I have it. Did that make her appearance go up?
No.
No, it did not. And it's exactly the same thing. She's the first quarter of that game. The very first character you are. So for some reason, and like I said, I'm not. Look at that Miles Morales one as totally fabricated. I think that was totally market manipulation. I'm not trying to take anything away from that book. I think it's a great character. I think it's worth how much it's worth on its own, not because of the video game.
Right.
I think it's worth what it's worth on its own because it's a great character. I just think somebody saw there, or people got behind. Man, it's a video game now. Let's push. It's a video game, so now it's going to make it worth more.
Interesting.
And I don't think it holds water, because I mean, name another one.
Well, I can't, and you have a point there. But also at the same time, I can't think of a corporation, who would be interested in the aftermarket that way.
I'm not talking about corporation. I'm talking about people.
So you're talking about people
about people who have the book in their collection.
Influencers.
Yes. Well, not influencers. Just people reselling it.
So I mean, but
how do you create a buzz? When they made the game, their idea when they made the game was not to sit there, we hope this makes the comic worth more money. That was not even a concern. They don't even know what the comic book is. I bet you anyone who played the game or made the game, they probably didn't even know it was a comic book. I'm just putting that out there. It's really not true. But I'm just saying, that's how much it was probably in their brain.
Right.
Is to raise the value of a comic book that came out years ago. They don't care. It's not worth it. They don't make any money off it. I'm saying that the collector market itself saw an opportunity to use that as a stepping stone to push that book to make it worth more than what it actually was. And it worked. They did it. It worked, okay? Like I said, why don't they do it again? Why doesn't it go aboard for all the games that have come out? I think it totally was manipulated and totally was fabricated by the secondary market.
And I'll give you that, granted. But my question is who is they? Because in order to create buzz, you have to have a platform.
Yeah.
And so what platform started doing this that had enough?
It doesn't take a lot. It takes a little word. You see it all. It takes one person to say something, and then boop, 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 boop. It's a ripple effect. And then everyone's we're talking about it on the freaking show. We're talking about it 6 months ago on the show.
True.
Why? Because somewhere we heard they, them, whatever it is. If you can pinpoint it. But you just hear it. You hear the buzz. You hear the buzz, and then the buzz goes more. That buzz, what I'm telling you, was manufactured, and it's not real. It's not real. Okay.
I'm just saying.
My thought. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying I'd like to explore that, because if anybody has that much power in the aftermarket, then that's going to cause me to mistrust everything.
Yeah. Why hasn't it happened again?
Yeah.
Why didn't the Kamala Khan one? I didn't hear anything. Not a peep.
Yeah.
Okay. Same scenario.
Only difference between Spider-Man and Avengers was Avengers wasn't a successful game. Spider-Man was.
Oh, Avengers was very successful
in the beginning, and then after a couple of weeks.
No, it's still going today, man, and it was multi-platform. Spider-Man was only on one platform. Avengers was on multiple platforms. Right. I can almost guarantee it sold more copies.
No,
because it was on PlayStation, PC, and Xbox.
Yeah,
and Xbox One, and all of them. The Spider-Man was just PlayStation.
I just remember reading after about the first month how they were looking at possibly not moving forward because they were losing money.
Oh, well, they're still making stuff for it. I just saw a new update right now. But it doesn't, this is before the game even came out.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't matter how many of the copies of the game sold.
This is true.
They were buzzing about it before it came out.
For sure.
So, I don't know. I the more I look at that scenario and try to recreate that, the more I'm like, there's nothing behind it. It was all fabricated. If there wasn't anything else, I get it. If there wasn't like a movie that came out before, okay, or something, why was it such a? Who decided? Like you said, who decided that we're going to take this game and we're going to make the reason why this book is so much right now is because it got a video game behind it.
Yeah.
Spawn has 10 games behind it. Iron Man, Wolverine. I mean, every single character in the Marvel Universe has a freaking video game behind it, down in the past. Okay? Same thing for DC stuff. There's tons of games like that. Did the Batman Arkham games make the price go up of Batman stuff? No, it didn't. Even though it introduced other characters.
Sure.
Or whatnot. Did it make those characters go up? The guys that were in the series, I can't remember the guy. He doesn't have any hair or whatnot, but he was... he's got scars all over.
Victor Zsasz.
He's in the video game. Mm-hmm. Did that make his book go up?
No, I have it though.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does have that. But anyway. But I'm like, okay, give me another example of where that's affected it.
Yeah, but...
And if I can see a track record and something that yes, that does make sense. This came out and made that go up. This came out and made that go up. Then I could see it. Like we see with the movies. But we all see where that's going right now. I mean, I watched a video last night. You'll appreciate this. That White Vision book was more than the first appearance of Vision, mm-hmm. which we were like, that's bullshit. That's no reason why the appearance of the White Vision should be more than the original appearance of Vision that came out 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. Okay, and now guess what?
Dollar bin.
It's like 70% less than what it was selling for a year ago. And
and we have to admit the Spider-Man book, with Miles Morales is it is an anomaly, Ultimate Fallout 4, right?
And I think that book is worth every penny. I just don't think it's because of the video game. Well, I just think they saw a place where they could promote it.
And we can't discount the fact that Into the Spider-Verse movie came out as well. That's part of it. But as opposed to a lot of these other books that have had movies come out, not like the Vision one, but other books where everything spiked because the character was going to be inside of a movie. After the movie comes out, it goes down. The video game has come out, the movie has come out, and that book is still way up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's holding value. People are still looking at it as a top seller. And so it's an anomaly compared to what we've been seeing.
Sure.
Absolutely. This is good, man.
All right, you're up next.
All right, next one comes.
I was really looking forward to get to the Miles Morales because I thought about it all week, and I was like, really, I actually thought about it back then when we were covering it about a year ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It just didn't make any. And I think I said something back then. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I remember.
And as a year goes by, or whatever time it's been, and it's not happened again.
Sure.
It's like that makes it look like it even more so. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
So anyway.
Yeah.
You got the next one.
Next one comes from our good buddy Brian, Comic Crazy. He says, as an avid PC and video game player, I think the business of comics is different than the games industry. Most games that come out after a movie is released are usually lackluster, rushed to meet the movie deadline, and become secondary, comic themed or otherwise. A lot of movie to video game titles aren't that good, heavily critiqued, thus turning me off to the comic or character. I will say that I have never read or seen the Guardians movies or read enough storylines in comics to follow the backstory, and the current video game that is out now for Guardians is so good that I feel that I need to read the origins and have a desire to know more about this Star-Lord character who relates to my youth as I graduated in the 80s. To have included a comic code for the specific character or back issue would have been an awesome caveat for someone like me. Download the video game and get a code and a Star-Lord story or a classic story, etc. Thanks for the show as always. So he brings up a couple of different things in here, and one of those is what I was talking about earlier, the time thing. He brings up the fact that a lot of these movies are usually lackluster, rushed to meet the movie deadline and become secondary.
The games, yeah.
Yeah, and so the games, in a lot of cases, are usually released to coincide with movies.
Yeah.
And anytime that happens, they can't meet that deadline because you got bug fixes, you got betas that you have to go through. It's not like a movie where, you've got this timeline, you're going to release it, no matter what it is, the editing's going to be done, and boom, it's out there. With a video game, there's a lot more logistics involved inside of it because you're not talking about actors that can just come in and do a reshoot or anything like that. Yeah. You got code, lines and lines of code. And so when they try to rush that, it usually comes up with a subpar game. Right, that doesn't work. I think one of the biggest disasters for me that I was looking forward to come out was the Matrix video game.
Sure.
Oh man, I wanted that to be so good, and it was terrible because of the fact that they rushed it. The Spider-Man games that came out when the Tobey Maguire movies came out.
Those weren't bad.
Well, okay, the number 2 on the Xbox was actually really good.
Yeah.
The first
one. I'm talking about the ones on the PlayStation before that.
Oh, okay.
I thought the ones on the regular PlayStation were actually ahead of their time.
Yeah.
They were pretty simple and basic, but
those weren't ones that were released and coincide with the movie, though.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe PlayStation 2. That's right. PlayStation 2 had Spider-Man 2. That was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2 was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But in most cases, these games are released to coincide with the Hulk game. Do anybody remember the Hulk game?
I like the Hulk game.
Did you?
Yes. I will tell you this. Mm-hmm. There was a game that came out that was way better than the movie.
What's that?
It was the Wolverine game.
The Wolverine game.
Did you ever play that game?
Yes, I did.
It was so freaking good.
It was.
The movie was the one with was like his origin thing or whatnot.
Yeah.
It was the one that had the big blob and that guy in there
and
stuff like that. It was with the weird looking Deadpool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the game was freaking awesome.
The game was a lot of fun.
It was. I just went back and replayed it not too long ago.
For sure.
Yeah, it's good.
But I mean, because of the fact that they've done this over and over again, where they've tried to coincide it with the movies and come out with a game that's just subpar, has turned a lot of people off. And again, we have this audience of people who want these superhero games. They want to play the video games as these characters, whether you're bringing a movie out or not.
Yeah.
Just release a good game.
Yeah.
And I think you'd have a lot more people that, who love these particular characters buying into those games, and you wouldn't be turning people off, as Brian says.
Well, like the game Injustice.
Uh-huh.
That's a great game. There's no movie attached to it, really.
No.
And those Batman games, I can't remember them being coinciding with the Batman movies.
No.
They were just really good games that were coming out.
Right.
Same with the Miles Morales Spider-Man. Good game. Mm-hmm. No movie out at the time when it came out. So I want to look at the book real quick because he mentioned the digital code. And I heard something from somebody this week about the digital codes in Marvel changed.
Oh, really?
Did you hear that?
I did not.
Well, let me take a look there. I might be wrong, but let me see if I can't find this on here. I got my Hulk 2 book, and they said they took out. Okay, that artwork's not bad. There's a giant Wolverine in here.
Yeah.
I don't understand what that's all about. Okay. Yeah. So apparently, there's no digital code anymore.
Interesting.
you have to call a number or contact customer. Go to marvel.com/redeem, act now, offer expire 2/1. Follow the screen instructions and fill out the form. Once your request has been confirmed, a redemption code will be emailed to you.
Huh.
After you receive the code in your email, go to marvel.com redeem and follow the on-screen instructions. So, there's no more code inside the books.
No, but they're making, basically what they're doing, they're making you sign up so that they can start leveraging you for sending you emails and things like that.
Something like that, yeah. But I'm just saying, there's no code anymore. There's no Peely thing that we talked about just last week.
Right, exactly.
So, if you want a digital copy of the book, you have to go to their website. I think you have to take a picture of the barcode or something like that.
Interesting.
And then they'll confirm the book, and then they'll send you the code. But apparently, from what I heard, it's a real pain in the ass doing this procedure, and it takes a very long time in comparison to just typing in the code.
Right.
So anyway, that's changed.
Interesting.
We talked about that last week,
but just really quick,
we make a difference.
But just really quick, one of the other things that Brian brings up here is the fact that he's played the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Yeah.
He likes it so much that he wants to read other comic books now.
Yeah.
And it would have been cool for them to have, put a code in there so that he could redeem it and get a cool story out of it.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that I'm looking for most when it comes to how can video games influence comic books or comic books influence video games. Is that type of thing right there. You get into a character that you never got into before. You want to know more, and comics are there for you to do it. I think this is a market that needs to be exploited more to bring new people in.
Yeah, I think that there's a better chance of making a game and then expanding it to the comics, because it's an easier thing to do than to make a comic book and expand that into a game. I mean, that's a whole nother, ball of wax.
Sure.
So, I mean, to make a comic book, you just need a publisher, a writer, and an artist to put that together. To make a video game, there's a lot of people on that, in that thing. So.
But if you didn't have any type of time crunch and you already had a world created within a video game, just like The Walking Dead, they came out with those games. They're great.
Yeah.
And because the world was already created, they didn't create any new characters. Though some of the characters are in the game, But I mean, what an amazing I forget what they call those games, the Annabelle or whatever.
Yeah.
Great games.
You want to know a great game?
What?
I just started playing.
What's that?
It's called Lake.
Lake?
Yeah.
What is it? Is this like a scumbag thing?
No,
Okay.
It's not even close. It's called Lake, and it just came out on Game Pass. And it's literally about this woman who her father is a mailman in this small town in Oregon on a lake. Okay, and him and his wife are going on vacation, or her mother, for like a couple weeks. So she's gonna go to the town and fill his mail route for 2 weeks. And all you do is you drive around in the mail truck and you deliver mail.
What?
I'm not kidding, dude, and it's so fun. And you get to meet people like, hey, how you doing? And like the end of the game is like you decide whether you want to stay or go back to the city where you live.
So this is the post office trying to influence people.
Yes, but I kid you not, dude. I played like it for 2 hours the other night. I was like just delivering mail.
You're having a blast.
And I would tell you, this is not the right package. I'm like, I'm leaving it anyway.
That is so great.
Yeah, it's called Lake. That's all it is. You just drive around this lake and you deliver packages and envelopes.
That's great.
And you say hello to the town folk. It's wonderful. It's
amazing. So. Anyway, Brian's a great guy. He is an avid video game player. Go check out his channel, Comic Crazy, on YouTube. He drops a lot of not just comic book content, but video game content. He's a great guy.
Here, let me double check. We're still recording here, right?
Right.
Still going. All right, good.
All right.
All right, you got the next one, too.
All right, next one comes from Roger. He says, nice previews. Another great week for books. So now I want a good Final Fantasy comic and a new Spawn video game. Only price jump I see at my LCS was a couple Miles Morales issues when the PS5 commercial debuted, and the Momoko Horizon Dawn variants were just hard to find unless you pre-ordered them. The other Gameverse stuff didn't seem to spike in price at my LCS. I think they sell a bundle of 4 or 5 Batman Fortnite books in the discount section for $10 at my LCS. And so he brings up a couple of things inside of here. I'm not familiar with Fortnite. I never got into it, but I do know that they were putting out some Fortnite comics.
They put out the Fortnite, the Batman and the comics had the codes in them, and that's why people bought them.
Right.
And I will just tell you, my son, who plays Fortnite, says, "Dad, can you get that book?" I said, "Really?" And so I called my good friend John, who buys every Batman book that there is.
Right.
And, "Hey, John, do you have this book?" He goes, "Yeah, I got it." I go, "Can I get the code from you?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." He doesn't play.
Right.
So I just got the code from him so that my son could dress up as Harley Quinn and shoot people, I guess.
So what you're saying is that it didn't create a new comic fan there.
No, it's just made me work harder.
Right, right.
But I could see that. I'll just say this: I could see we'd sell more comic books. People will get the codes, but I think for the generation, they would just want the code, and they wouldn't even think twice about the book.
Yeah. And
it's sad to say that. Maybe you get 1 out of 10, which is great. Take the 1 out of 10. But when you think about it, they just want that code.
Yeah.
And they don't really care about the book. And I thought about that too. I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, because we talked about how do we get kids, more into comics, and is it a lost cause? And the more I think, and this sounds depressing, I think it is a lost cause because there's so much more for them to do now.
Yeah.
It's not like it's comics and baseball cards and that's about it.
Right.
I mean, everything in the world is on your phone, and you can do whatever you want on your phone.
Yeah.
You can go hunting for things that aren't even there. It's there. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
But look at my phone. It's there. Give me a break. That's a thing.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many more options now. There's thousands of options. How do you get them to go back to that old option?
Right.
You don't. It just doesn't happen. And like I said, maybe 1 out of 10, great, but really, that's why we don't have the kids involved anymore. It's because there's so many more options that there is. I don't even know if kids buy toys anymore.
Right.
They mainly just, if it's digital, that's what they're buying, or something, or listening to music, or whatever it is, or I don't know. I'm out of touch now, just having kids older and stuff like that. So, but to me, it just doesn't seem like that option is a viable option for them because there's so many more things that they would much rather do. And I can't say I blame them. The screen's bright and pictures and flashy and draws your attention, and stuff, and it's right there in your hand. You can do whatever you want there. And why would I want to pick up a piece of paper? Right. I don't know. But I'm just saying. But what were we talking about?
We're talking about video games and comics.
Yeah, so video games. Yeah, that lake game is awesome.
I love it. But this is the type of thing I'm talking about. You're issuing a comic book that possibly Fortnite players will go pick up. To be able to get the code for the game, and maybe they'll read the book.
Yeah.
And I thought it was also a good thing for comics because if the comics guy is going to pick it up, just pick it up with the comic book, and maybe because the character's in the game, he'll go check out the game. Yeah. So there's kind of a symbiotic thing going on there that I thought was kind of cool. I don't know so much marketing-wise if it did pan out. From what I understand, not too many people were excited about it. Yeah. I've never played Fortnite, but I heard a couple of places Daredevil's in it at once, and then Doctor Doom. I would have liked to have played Doctor Doom.
Pretty much the whole Marvel and DC universe.
Really?
In there, yeah.
And I might have stepped into it for a second to play Doctor Doom. I don't know.
You wouldn't last more than 2 minutes.
Because it's Battle Royale, isn't it?
Yeah, I've played it. I look pathetic. What is this? Did I kill someone? No. All my stuff's laying on the ground. I guess I'm done. Yep. That was great.
That was great. Thank you.
Anyway. All right, you get the next one there. Your last one, I got the two after that.
All right, this one comes from DVD Kaufman. He says, could go on for hours as to why the gaming industry is no place for comics right now, and possibly never again if things don't change. In short, the gaming industry has simply become way too greedy, along with having terrible images for being disgusting criminals now as well. We would never get an entire story for a solid price. Everything would be sold to us in pieces and broken down into paid DLC, which is downloadable content, or add-on patches. That might work with a $4 price tag, but that's entirely unacceptable at a $60 price point. Unfortunately, that's how games try to tell a story nowadays. There are a few solid single-player experiences anymore because those games don't profit as much, and that's all these companies care about anymore. So I wanted to put that in there because this is kind of the other side of the coin. He's talking more about the video game industry and how they're treating things nowadays. And kind of the darker side of what's going on. And let's face it, a lot of these companies, they're not in it for us; they're in it for the profit.
Well, every company is for profit.
Yeah, exactly.
I see a lot of people say, "Oh, they're all in it for the money." Well, they are.
Everybody is.
When you have a company, you don't make a company to make friends.
Right.
You have a company. You have a board of directors to make money.
Sure.
And if you don't make money, guess what doesn't exist?
Yeah.
The company. So when people sit there, all they want to do is make money. Well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Of course they want to make money. But they're not making the Boy Scouts.
No.
But
just like inside of comic books, in video games, you got people who are complaining all the time about things as well.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's starting to happen is you're starting to see, instead of a full story inside of a game,
sure,
you're going to get it chopped up, and you're going to pay $60 for each piece. And for some people out there, that they're starting to feel gouged.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, I was a little bit older actually, but on the PS1, I love Final Fantasy VII. That's one of my favorite games. And now they've started to come out with a remake of it, and they're breaking it up into 4 or 5 different sections.
Yeah.
I mean, they just came out with the beginning part of it. You had to pay a full price for it. It's not the full game. And that turned me off to it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay, $150 for a remake. Just make the freaking game again, and give it to us. But I really feel like they're going for the money grab here. And I can't say, since I don't know the video game industry as much as I do comics, I can't say that that's not starting to happen all over the place. I see every game I get into now has downloadable content, has all kinds of stuff that they want you to pay for. You can't pay for the regular game anymore. There's the director's cut. There's this bundle over here, and it's like, which one do you buy? Right. And but it's come to a place where I think what he's trying to say here is it's harder to do that in a world where something costs $60 than it is for something that costs $4.
Yeah.
Right. And I have to agree with him on that.
Let me do a little quick history lesson on video games.
Okay, go for it.
People don't realize this, and
I've been since the beginning. So.
Yeah, we're talking about prices the other week about comic books. Okay, video game prices have gone down, and the price to make a game has skyrocketed. I'll tell you. And they're like, "What are you talking about, Bueller?"
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Super Nintendo cartridges were $80. Some were $90. Some were $70. Mortal Kombat for the Super Nintendo was $80.
Right.
The cartridge. Okay. A lot of those, if you go back and look, those cartridges were like $60 to $80. That was a way long time ago. We're talking about 20, 30 years ago. That's how much they were. I can remember Clay Fighter 3D for Super Nintendo was $89.99. Okay,
it's crazy.
And people were like, "Oh, games are too expensive." Well, the short-term memory, because Super Nintendo and Genesis cartridges for a while were in the $60 to $70 to $80 range.
I don't remember depending on that high.
They surprisingly they were. It's because of the chips and everything they're doing. Now, here's the thing. To make a game back then was expensive. To make a game today is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
To make a game like Resident Evil, the new one that came out, because there's so many of them, costs a lot more than it did to make the first Resident Evil a long time ago. Or a Super Mario game that you made for the Nintendo, in the 80s, a new Super Mario game costs a lot more to make.
Yeah.
And the profit is not there like it used to be. They don't make any money on the system. They haven't made any money on the system for years. The systems were lost leaders. They're just there to get you onto the game platform. Okay, so if you're buying an Xbox One or whatnot, and you're paying $300, that thing costs $330 to make. Okay, and that's pretty much how it's been ever since hardware has been in the market. I remember looking at the price that we pay at Software Accessory for those with shipping. We lose money every time we sold one. Yeah. It didn't matter, but we knew if we sold one, you get the games, and that's where you make the money.
Right, and that's the way it's always been. I mean, when it comes to the electronics industry, the printer industries do the same thing. Yeah. Give away the printer, we get them all the cartridges, the paper, and the ink and everything. Yeah. So,
but I mean, it's just, I think that for the games that we get, for the amount of time that you get in the game, especially if you get a good one, it's well worth it. And I play simple games like the one I talked about, and I play the high-end ones as well. Destiny's constantly has new seasons and new stuff. That's kind of what that game is.
Right.
You couldn't just do one game and let it go, because it's a year project.
Sure.
Or it's a multi-year project. But like, I play Ticket to Ride on my Xbox, and that's the old board game, you know, with the choo-choo engines.
Yeah.
I play that one more than any other game in my library right now. I play it daily for hours.
Yeah.
And I'll just sit there on my couch and build a train track. And I love it, you know.
There you go.
And I love it. But, I mean, you compare that, which is hardly nothing, to Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
It costs millions and millions of dollars to put together, and they constantly have those servers going and everything going all the time. It's a constant expense. A lot of games are online. There's servers involved now. It's a much more elaborate system than what it was before. Mm-hmm. There was no servers involved for Super Mario.
There wasn't.
You know, or Super Mario World or anything like that, you know. These constant
memory
updates.
Cartridge.
Yeah, you couldn't put out a game with a flaw on it because you couldn't update it, you know. Now they have to do that because they find stuff and it's different, you know, and all these codes are different and they're huge. So I think they were talking about the greed and everything. Yeah, there's a lot of greed, but it's a lot more expensive to dip your toe in the video game industry right now than it is to dip your toe in the comic book industry.
Right. I mean, the what do you call it? I mean, the risk that they take is a lot greater because if it fails, it's huge.
Yeah.
So
there's so many gaming companies going out of business.
Absolutely, it's always been that way though.
Yeah, little publishers they get a good game, the next one comes out and it bombs.
Yeah, and
it's like, oh, that sucks. You know, Grim Fandango, does that ring a bell?
Oh yeah.
Okay, those were big, and Grim Fandango came out, didn't do what it was supposed to do, and just it killed them. And they were gone.
I can't tell you how many, because I used to go to E3 every year. I used to get invited, and I'd go around and I'd look at the booths, and there was all these hot games coming out. And then you go next year, and half of those companies have been gone, and new ones are replaced them.
Or they got bought up and then dismantled.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that was our last comment. Anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, I've been playing video games for years. I mean, I started, way back when Pong came out.
I find that surprising.
Why?
You're not really built for video games.
Hey, you know what? Have you seen my thumbs? Have you seen my thumbs? All right. I'm built for video games, bro.
What about that long button way over the...
I use my pinky.
That's a little gross. Okay. TMI.
There we go.
Awesome, man. Well, there you go. That's our topic, brought to you by Black Box Comics. Like I said before, they go to their website, blackboxcomics.net, and the code Bueller, you save 10%. Not bad at all, right? Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and go to our final five, brought to you by Bird City Comics. 10% Bueller, guys. Know the deal. Okay, Bob, you want to go first there, buddy?
Sure. All right, so brought some Batgirl books. Let's see, I got issue number 44. Got a great issue there.
Nice.
We got issue number 39. Love these covers. They're all different.
Oh, yeah, Batgirl goodness.
Yeah. I got issue number 50, the giant-sized issue, which is pretty cool.
David Mack?
I think it might be.
I don't know.
Then we got Batgirl number 34.
Nice.
Right there. And then I love this one. This is by In-Hyuk Lee. This is Batgirl number 46.
That's probably one of my favorites right there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very, very attractive lady.
My final five.
Final five, awesome. I got my final five right here.
All right, what you got?
Okay, here we go. I got my Amazing Fantasy number 4. This is that Frank Frazetta.
Oh yeah.
Homage cover. I love that one. It's an homage to the album that he did or something like that. This is a Marvel Comics 1000, some She-Hulk action. Some lovely ladies. Cool. I wanted to show this for our buddy there. Flash number 39.
Oh yeah.
Our buddy Heroes from Icon sent this to me right there.
Jason.
And also Black Panther number 1. He did that one for me.
His artwork is awesome.
Very nice.
Keep him in your prayers, y'all. He's still in the hospital.
That's right. And this is one of the books I kept from the Sam's collection. This is like the one I was looking for. This is Amazing Spider-Man 316.
Yeah.
This was actually a gift I gave Sam for Christmas or his birthday. It's autographed by Tom McFarlane inside on the first page. I had him autograph that when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So this was in my collection from when it came out. And so I didn't want to sell it, obviously. And so I found it, and it's back in my collection yet again. So it'll stay there forever. So, but anyway, just wanted to show that. That's my final five.
Very cool.
Brought to you by Bird City Comics.
It's a great final five.
Bueller 10% off. I think they got some other code going right now. I say 15%.
Wow.
I don't know, Christmas stuff.
Christmas.
Yep. Okay, let's see here. We're going to move on to our Was It Good segment.
Yeah.
And I got some books, and actually, you can do mine first.
Yeah.
And our Was It Good is brought to you by Comics on Coffee. You go to their website under the code Christmas. You save 20%, or any other time you can enter the code Bueller, save 15%. And you can get their K-cups now, the little pods. So, anyway, pretty cool.
I got a bunch of those.
And I still don't have any. I still don't have none.
What happened?
I don't know. But do you see they have new cups?
Yes, I'm going to be buying those.
Tumblers and whatnot, yeah.
Very cool. All right, your first book comes from Marvel Comics. It's Wastelander's Wolverine, #1. And Bueller, you had a chance to read this.
I did.
Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it. These are little one-shots. And real quick, I said I couldn't find the Hawkeye one. It's coming out this week.
Cool.
It's on Wednesday. And I actually took a look at it and read it already. It's pretty good. They're all just little one-shots with the Wastelander universe, like the Old Man Logan, Old Man Quill is another one.
Hawkeye.
And Hawkeye and that stuff. Really great one-shot story. It involves Wolverine and he's got baby Hulk with him. He's got like a baby version of Hulk. He's traveling the wasteland looking for water, and the Hulk baby won't shut up.
Ball Wolf and Cub.
Just crying the whole time. And then he comes across this robot. He tries to cut this robot up with his claws, and the robot's made out of adamantium as well. The suit and stuff like that.
Like Ultron?
Yeah. And, I won't tell you the spoil it or whatnot. I'll just tell you that much. But I loved it. I thought it was good. The artwork in it's got that dusty western setting and stuff. The Hawkeye one that comes out this week is the same setting.
Nice.
It's a lot of fun. It has a really cool character in there as well. But these little one-shots are kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe there's just 3 of them. Or maybe they do some group thing together or something like that. But I do know of this one, which is the first one, the Hawkeye one, and then the Quill one. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's more after that. But I'm going to get them all. They're pretty cool. I'm pretty happy. I need something to read from Marvel.
Right.
Well, there you go.
All right, pretty cool. All right, so the next one you got is Hulk #2.
That's right.
Also from Marvel Comics. And Bueller.
Yeah.
Was it good?
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird book. There's like a giant Wolverine in here. Or is it a giant, or is the Hulk just a mini Hulk?
Right.
I don't really know. I don't know if it's a giant Wolverine or if it's a regular Wolverine and a mini Hulk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was confused by the first book as well.
Yeah.
And it's like part of it's in his mind, part of it's not.
Yeah.
What's real and what's not. And, the more I read the first book, because I read it like 2-3 times, I liked it more the last time I read it, but I'm still not quite, I don't like the split personality type things. I always get confused, and they always mess it up.
Yeah.
So I hope he keeps it straight.
Yeah. I'm going to keep getting it, because I'm actually collecting the series for my little nephew that was just born. He's 5 months old. I'm collecting King Spawn and Hulk and Gunslinger Spawn, so he's gonna have a little collection as he gets older.
Nice.
So whatever this run is, I'll just buy him an issue. I hope it gets better. I think this story just needs more issues. It's not something like what was that, the last thing that he did before, King in Black or whatnot. Okay, the first issue of King in Black blew you away, got you right into it. You were good to go. Man, this is awesome. Stuff's going on. People are dying. I get it. I'm just not getting that feeling with the first couple issues of Hulk. It's like I don't get it yet, So it seems like it's going to take a little bit to flush out to kind of see where we're going, what we want to do, or what Donny Cates wants to do, and I'm willing to do that. And he said that people are hating my book.
Right.
He goes, that's exactly why I want people to hate it. What? So you make a hamburger, you don't want people to hate it, right?
This is true.
I don't know.
But maybe he's doing that because at some point people are going to love it. I don't know.
Yeah, he turned the people in.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm still going to read it. So just give it some time. I'll give it like the first 5 issues, because I fell off Thor. I stopped after the story arc before when they brought the other guy back with the staff and whatnot.
Right.
I fell off it during that. I haven't been back since. So I don't know. Hopefully, Hulk holds my attention.
Hopefully,
a little bit more. So there you go. I don't know.
There we go. Now, this book is that Kickstarter one, right?
Yes.
This is PTSD.
Yes.
I don't know what the publisher is.
It's a Kickstarter. It's independent, so.
And so, here we go. Bueller.
Yes.
Was it good? You already said you're not going to get touchy-feelies off of it, so we know that.
It's not. It's a brutal book. I'll just put it to you that way. It's in the title what it's about, okay? And it kind of tries to put you in the mind of someone suffering from that, and it does that. If that's something you want to encounter, great. It's not for everyone,
right?
It's not. I mean, it's not going to make you feel good, about the world or whatnot. It's kind of the type of book to where it's like watching Schindler's List, okay? It's a great movie, but you don't leave that feeling, man. You don't feel good. You feel kind of bad and learning history or whatnot and stuff like that. It kind of, I'm not comparing this to Schindler's List.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
But that feeling you have after you watch a movie, you're glad you watched it, but man, it just doesn't make you want to go back and revisit that.
Sure.
It makes you want to maybe research a little more, learn more about it and stuff like that. And that's what this does. And I enjoyed that part about the book. It's not something I would share with someone to be like, oh yeah, it's gonna make your day,
right,
or something like that. But it for what it does, it puts you in the mind of the character, what they're suffering. It's a brutal book, there's a lot of imagery in there that's a little disturbing or whatnot. And it is just a one shot, so it's just that's it. He's gonna make more books as well. I don't know if it has anything to do with the other ones, but it's definitely you can see the pain involved.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the gentleman who created this, he's going through some personal experiences and he's putting it in the book,
right, and
stuff like that, and you can kind of see that, or whether he's referencing someone else or something close to him personally is influencing the references in the book. And for that, I commend him, for putting that out there and for doing something like this. It's not going to appeal to a mass market, but for the people who do get their hands on it, me, and for the people who did support this, it's worth a read. And you definitely see what he's going for, and you can definitely appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing I can say about this book is I appreciate this book. And so that's why I like it. So
yeah, I think that stuff like this I think it's incredible because doing as much counseling as I do and healing of past wounds and trauma and things like that, there's a certain group of people out there that will just never get what that other person is going through, and for a lot of people, compassion is not given when you don't understand something. There's PTSD. The word PTSD is thrown around a lot.
Sure.
And I also have heard people say, oh, that's just a scapegoat, right? Everybody has PTSD. And no, that's not true. But when you try to explain something to somebody, sometimes words are not enough. So if you have a medium with which you can help somebody understand, and then it clicks, now I get it. Then compassion can be given in a whole new way.
Yeah.
And so I applaud, efforts like this because it does open the eyes of people who don't have an understanding of something that's very serious and very real. And that's awesome. I applaud them for doing this.
Yeah. And this is your copy.
Ah, awesome, bro.
I got 2 copies. The shiny one stays with me.
Thank you.
And you get that one, so you can read that
Appreciate
one.
Appreciate it. I'm very much interested in this.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. And the artwork, like I said, in there is can be a little jarring, but it definitely sets the mood and the tone that should go with it. There's certain artwork that wouldn't fit in this book, and the artwork that's used fits the book.
Very cool.
So
thank you.
Awesome, man.
Awesome stuff.
All right, what do you got for me to?
All right, so one of my books, my LCS, did not get in this week. I didn't get Newburn number 2, so I just picked a random book off the shelf to read and review, and so that'll be in there.
Okay, here we go. We got Berserker number 6. Bob.
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was all right. I mean, it's nothing to write home about like the other books. I think this one, there's a mission that kind of goes wrong, and there's a character that he's with that's kind of understanding him, and I think it was just kind of to take us back to highlight some of the other powers that he has, like he's got super strength, he's got healing, and also you have to realize that experience is a superpower with him as well, because of how many years he's lived on planet Earth, right? And he doesn't need a GPS. He's been this place 100,000 times, right? And so it kind of highlights those things. But there was nothing new inside of this book to make me say I'm excited for the next issue.
That's surprising because this book has been delayed quite a bit.
Yeah.
And for what you're telling me about this book, it's almost like it's just recapping other stuff that you already knew.
Pretty much. You're
Come on, Keanu.
as they're going through this mission, he's kind of opening up to the other guy, and you find out that that organization that's trying to use him to try to get that power, try to weaponize it if they can. They're listening to their conversation the whole time, so they're about to be in a position to grasp what he has, and I think that's what they're trying to do with this book. But it just, the way they did it, it was kind of anyway. It wasn't exciting.
Sure. All right, that's too bad.
Yeah.
All right, we got a new number one right here. We got Batgirls #1, another Batman title for DC because they don't have enough apparently. Hey Bob.
Yeah.
Was Batgirls any good?
I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
The artwork is great. I love the artwork inside of this. The coloring is okay. If some of the pages pop. You got Barbara Gordon, Cassandra Cain, and I can't remember the other girl. But they're all together. Nothing really happens in the book. It's just it's kind of set up where you could see where they possibly could go with it, but there's nothing inside of here grabbed me, right? To say, hey, I need to get that next book because this is going to be awesome. It was just a bunch of conversation and nothing really happens. So, I don't know. Maybe
I've had dates like that. It's a bunch of conversation, nothing really happens. The worst.
The worst. All right, there you go. Well, that's what this was like, a date like that.
All right. Pass. All right, we got the last one here. We got Odin's Eye, #1 by Bad Idea.
Yeah.
I thought they went out of business.
But whatever.
Times. I don't know. Bob.
Yeah.
Was that any good? Cover's cool looking.
Well, if you look at the cover, the artwork inside is all the same. It's amazing. The artwork. Who's this guy?
Jorge Ramirez.
No, it's Michael
Turner.
Michael Giarelli.
I was close.
The artwork inside of here is insane. Every page, it's this whole painted style. And I wanted to love this book. The writing is so disjointed. It's like the whole first half of the book where it was like, I have an idea. I'm going to show a picture of that idea and show some text, but it's not going to connect to the next panel that's on the page. That's another idea, right?
What a bad idea.
Come on. And so they're trying to give these things that are happening that are supposed to connect the narrative, but it's so disjointed that I had a hard time getting through it until the end when they're on this kind of trek. And I'll tell you, it's all Norse mythology, but I guess maybe because Marvel owns the names of Thor and Odin, so they can't ever call anybody inside of their Odin. They keep saying All-Father. And when you say All-Father 20 times on a page, it becomes like, what are they trying to say here? And
that
so
sounds horrible.
Yeah, but at the end part where the trek is happening, I kind of got into it at that point. But I'll say, the book, the artwork inside here is just pure eye candy. I love it. Yeah, check it out.
And this is a Bad Idea. The place that was.
And it's a $10 book.
I thought they were all supposed to be $3.99.
They were supposed to be, not that one.
We're going out of business. I think they put out about 50 books since then.
Look at the artwork in that.
That does look pretty cool.
That's amazing.
That's the one thing, like I said, we both agree we're not fans of the business practices, but we've enjoyed the books.
Yeah.
For the most part.
For the most part.
And,
so this one I enjoyed the artwork, but the story I just could not get into. And for a $10 price point, you better bet I'm not getting... Is this an ongoing
series or what?
5-issue series.
Oh, I just ruined your bag.
It's okay. I got a bunch of them.
I've given you bags in the past. Just use one of those.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, there you go, man. That's our... You know what? That sucks. You got 3 stinkers.
I did get 3 stinkers.
I think that's the first time that's happened.
Probably.
I'm sorry, buddy.
It's all right. You win some and you lose some.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we're not having a show next week because of Christmas.
Yeah.
So there are a few... There's actually... no, there is quite a few books coming out next week. Mm-hmm. But the week after, there's hardly any books coming out.
Yeah.
There's like only 3 or 4 from Marvel. But this coming week, I was looking, and I think, like I said, the Hawkeye one. I read that one already. I can tell you, I enjoyed it. There's the Gunslinger Spawn comes out this week as well. I looked at that one. That was pretty good. I got a chance to. Image sent me. It's the digital copy, but the hardcover of Decorum.
Oh, really?
And that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch.
I'd rather have collected it like that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of extra stuff in there. It's 480 pages long.
Oh my gosh.
And Robbie would just shit himself.
Yeah, he would.
But I'm actually looking forward to it. They did the same thing with Middle West. They sent me the hardcover for that, or digital form. So it's not really a hardcover, but still, they put extra stuff in those books.
Very cool.
And they're pretty awesome. So anyway, we don't have any books for you what we're reading next week, so you guys just read whatever you want.
Read whatever you want.
Yeah, Daredevil or Dark Reign or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
All right, let's move on to our final segment. I mean, you're really looking forward to this. I know you are. This is our Random Thoughts brought to you by our Patreons and our Scout Comics and our Whatnots and all that good stuff. Hey, guess what?
What?
Spoilers.
Spoilers. So if you don't want anything spoiled, shut this off now. Come back to it later.
Yes.
Because we're spoiling the shit out of this.
Yeah. There you go. Whoa. There you go. So full warning. 3, 2, 1. Spoilers ahead. Okay. You went and saw Spider-Man.
I did.
And you avoided the spoilers and stuff.
I did.
And you said to me the night before, he goes, if it all works out, what did you say? You said, if it all works out, Wednesday we'll get to see the Kingpin, and then I'll go to see Spider-Man, and then Matt Murdock will be in the Spider-Man movie.
Right.
How'd that go?
It freaking went phenomenal.
So you got your little Kingpin.
Everything happened exactly the way I was hoping.
You got your Kingpin.
Kingpin.
Spoiler there, sorry.
And just to be clear, they show him in a picture, right? And then you see the credits and you see Vincent D'Onofrio, and you're just like,
oh yeah,
it's official.
There you go. So all that Netflix universe is apparently now all part of the MCU.
I don't know that. I know that they've talked about that it's probably not going to be the whole Netflix universe.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get that Karen Page or Foggy. I definitely think we're definitely getting.
Wasn't Foggy in the thing in Spider-Man?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
So I don't know if we're getting those characters because I heard that it's going to be a soft reboot.
Okay.
So we may only get Kingpin and Matt Murdock, and they may just be completely different.
I wouldn't have a problem. I'm not a fan of the Netflix stuff.
I know you're not.
The Punisher one was good, but they didn't have that Marvel hook to them, or the charm that the Marvel. I mean, they're darker, so I get it.
Yeah.
But they just like I'm trying to rewatch the Punisher, and it's hard to watch. I mean, it's so long and just drawn out to where it's just like, just show me the scene where he's walking down the prison cell and he beats up everybody. That's really the only scene I want to watch.
Inside of the Daredevil season 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's nothing else. And I'm like, man, there's so much that the
That's
Marvel.
funny because I watch it over and over again, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. I tried. I was excited for Daredevil to come out. I didn't like the guy. I didn't like the girl.
I don't like her as Karen Page, no.
I didn't like the Foggy guy either.
I like that guy as Foggy.
The only guy I liked was the Punisher and the guy who played Kingpin. The Nick Cage guy. I didn't like that show. I didn't like Jessica Jones. I didn't like the Defenders or the Iron Fist. None of those.
Yeah.
And it's even the Punisher 2 seasons, I didn't even like those. And I was like, ugh. They just seemed like work to watch them.
Interesting.
And they weren't enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But anyway, back to your little goodness that happened. So you sit there, you're all happy. You saw your Hawkeye, you got your Kingpin. You're like, okay, I get to go to Spider-Man tomorrow. So you go to Spider-Man, you're sitting in Spider-Man, and what happens?
Well, within the first 5 minutes of the movie, Matt Murdock shows up.
Okay.
Right. So I was glad they did that because otherwise I'd have been sitting there the whole movie thinking to myself, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? No. They just get it right out of the way really quick.
Sure.
And so you basically,
he's Spider-Man's lawyer or something?
He comes up and basically offers his services.
Sure.
And while he's doing that, because people are, kind of rioting outside and stuff like that, somebody throws a brick through the window and he catches it. Daredevil catches it. And Peter's like, how'd you do that? And so, yeah, I mean, we're getting Daredevil, bro.
You like that?
I love it. The world is right.
Okay. But that's not the only thing.
That's not the only thing, no.
That's not the only thing that happens. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're in the movie. So the rumors were, and you guys already know this, what the rumors were that the other Spider-Mans were going to show up.
Sure.
Okay.
And they kept that under wraps pretty good.
They did. Not to mention they didn't even let those guys go down the red carpet.
Nope.
For the premiere or something like that either. So, but they're in a nice chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire and
Andrew Garfield,
the other Spider-Mans are in the movie.
Yeah.
Playing their characters.
Yeah.
Along with the other villains from Spider-Man universe, the Green Goblin, the Doc Ock, all those guys, Sandman, all those guys are in there, and you basically get 3 Spider-Mans.
Yep.
And then you get a death. We won't spoil the death.
No.
But it's not who I thought.
Not who I thought either.
Yeah. So it was just kind of surprising, but I liked what they did with it to kind of take the tragedy, and because to say that this version of of Spider-Man didn't really have a tragedy, I don't know if that's true, because his relationship with Tony Stark and all that stuff, that was pretty.
Sure. I mean, at the beginning of the first Spider-Man movie, we kind of have an inference to the fact that Uncle Ben has died.
Yeah.
Right. But we don't have the emotional tie to Uncle Ben that the other 2 Spider-Men did. Right. Okay. So that was there.
Yeah. So anyway, did you enjoy that? Was that?
I absolutely enjoyed it, because if anybody else would have died, it wouldn't have been as impactful as it. Well, I shouldn't say that, because it could have been MJ, right? But anyway, because of the fact that they tied it to the other Spider-Man's tragedies, there's a scene where basically he's going through this emotional hit where he wants to go off, and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire basically talk to him about what they went through and how they felt at that particular point. Dude, you'll be crying. I was crying, dude.
I'm not gonna cry.
I was crying, dude.
I'm not crying. I'll tell you right now, I ain't been crying.
He's a bigger softy than he lets on. He cries.
No, I do cry, but I cry like Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire.
You had me at hello.
Show me the money. That's where you were crying. Anyway. But they did. They tied it to the other 2 Spider-Man's tragedies, and when they start talking about those, man, it does. It really hit me.
Yeah.
And then there's some other things that they made that were nods to those things, like again, spoilers, but there's a part where MJ is falling, and it's Andrew Garfield who saves her, and he finally got to save the girl.
Sure.
And so little things like that made it so special. It wasn't just these guys just showed up and then the fight happened and it was good. They took some time to sit with those characters and have all 3 of them interplay with each other. It was funny. It was emotional. It had all these ticks that were nods to the old stuff, and I absolutely loved it. It was good, man.
So you were pretty happy.
I was very happy.
You enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it. I'm going to get Daredevil in some way, shape, or form, whether it be in a movie or a series. I don't care. I got my boy back.
I heard that's it. He's done.
Maybe.
He's signed on to do something with Archie.
Archie. There we go.
He didn't play Jughead.
He gotta play Jughead. He's in Riverdale. Matt Murdock in Riverdale.
Riverdale, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty. I haven't seen it. I didn't go see it yet, but I saw all the spoilers. I feel like I've seen it, to be honest.
It surpassed every expectation.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
It was good.
So I'm looking forward to seeing it and everything. From what I understand, he resets everything, or he doesn't reset, but nobody knows him anymore. So I kind of don't like that. I think that's kind of a cop out. It's like, oh, now is he gonna have to fall in love with MJ all over again?
Basically,
or her or whatnot. And it's like, okay. And then apparently Ned Leeds, the Hobgoblin, has powers.
Yeah, that happens as well.
That's a little different from what I remember.
Yeah, well, but he's not really Ned Leeds Hobgoblin, right? He's supposed to be janky. So.
It is janky.
Or ganky. Ganky.
Ganky? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
But I'll probably just wait till it hits on demand or something like that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, very cool, man.
Very cool. I was a happy camper this week.
I know you were. You're all. Leave me alone. Don't talk to me. I got plans.
Witcher Season 2 dropped last night.
Oh, yeah. I skimmed through it. I was looking for the negative parts. I couldn't find any.
So far, I haven't seen any.
There's one part where he stabs this girl in the back as he flips around and comes at him and stuff like that, and she's not wearing a top. And that was pretty good. But I couldn't find any more.
Okay.
I did start watching Ted Lasso.
Did you?
Yeah.
What do you think of it so far?
I got through the first season. I enjoyed it. I'm in the 1 episode second season, and so far pretty good because I signed up for that Apple TV. Yeah.
So when you're done with that, watch what is it called? C?
No.
There's the one where basically everybody's blind.
Oh yeah.
It's
I started watching that. I got annoyed by it.
Really?
And they're all clicking around the woods.
It gets really good, man.
Yeah, and I give it about 5 minutes. I was like, I don't want to see people clicking around the woods.
There we go.
That's my click. No, that's your click.
Just get to the Jason Momoa scene where he goes off and fights, and I think it's the second or third episode.
Yeah, no, really I started watching. They had a Beastie Boys thing on there. And
that's right. That's
Beastie
right.
Boys kind of a documentary, and I watched that last night. That was really good because that one guy passed away. So
I love Ted Lasso though, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
football is life.
Let's see. We covered that. I did want to say that make sure you watch the shredded thing. I think this week. The comic pusher.
I thought it dropped this week. I could have swore I saw it.
No, he just dropped the thumbnail.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the 21st. Whatever date this is, I don't know. So check that out. I'll put a link to his channel down below. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm curious to see what it looks like, me shredding books and stuff like that. Don't forget the black box homework that we talked about.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you missed the beginning. Go back to the beginning. We're trying to find out if you go to these shops. If you go to these shops, let me know. There's a list of them at the very beginning of the show. Another thing really quick, I just want to tell everyone, we talked about our buddy Sam. We're doing something very special for Sam. We're putting together a variant book dedicated to Sam. I've already talked to the publisher. It's already in the works. It's me, it's Bob, it's Damien. Me, Bob, Damien, and Sam were the original Portland comic crew. Us four. You guys have seen us do videos together in the past. But we are getting together. We are putting something together. A very special variant dedicated to Sam. And we are giving it away. We are not charging for this variant. This is going to be the only exclusive variant that really you only have to pay the shipping. And we are covering the cost of everything else. And when this comes out, I don't know exactly when. We're going to try to get the ball rolling this coming week. But we are going to give it away. It's a limit one copy per person. And hopefully it's really something special. I've talked to the artists what we want to do. They said that they can do it. I haven't seen it yet, so it's still some time away. But this is something for Sam. That's why we're giving it away. And we want to give it away. And I'm really looking forward to it. But it'll be pretty limited. Because obviously it costs some money to do this. So we can't go nuts.
No.
But anyway, I just be on the lookout for that. I'll give more information as we get closer. But like I said, it is an exclusive variant. Comics with Bueller, Everything Comics, Sleepy Reader, whatever it is, that is going to be free. Literally the first one that is ever free, and you just pay the shipping cost, $3 or $4, whatever it is. You'll pay less than cover price.
Right.
So, anyway, we'll get more information to you guys as we get closer to that event, and we'll be sharing it with you and kind of go from there. So, anyway, that's about it. Anything else?
That's I can think of right now. I'm still fighting to put a video out. It's been crazy this week.
Yeah.
I'll probably put another haul video out before.
Do you want to do it on the bus?
What, a haul video?
Yeah, you can do hauling on the bus.
Hauling on the bus?
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah. That's gross.
All right.
What do you guys think? Do you guys like the sitting on the bus format? I mean, it's a little, like I said, it's not done yet. This will have like designs and kind of the roof will be done and everything, but for the most part, the big things are done in the bus.
All I know is I didn't have to take a break once. Right, normally I have to take like 2 breaks when I normally film this show.
You know how much these seats were?
How much?
A lot of money.
Really?
Yes.
They're comfortable.
Yeah, I was going to make them. I said, screw that. I'm just going to buy these instead. And they paid off because there's storage underneath and I'm like, sturdy. I want something when I'm just sitting around, I can relax.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I said, forget it. I'm just going to buy these things. And they are very nice. So
they're very cool.
Yeah. It makes it into a bed.
Really?
So if you... No. I was gonna say if you want to stay with me, but that would be horrible.
No.
I'm right there, you're right here. Hey Bob, I gotta use the toilet. Don't look.
Get up and Anyway.
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the first coffee video on the bus. I don't know if we'll be back here when Bob gets back, but I wanted to give it a shot. So
yeah,
not bad.
It's awesome. I love it, man. This thing is awesome.
It's cozy.
For sure.
And actually, the weather changed today. I thought it was going to be colder. I got here early to turn the heat on, and I turned the heat off because it actually warmed up really quick in here. So
very cool.
Not bad at all. All right, that's all I got.
It's awesome stuff, man.
That's it.
Very cool.
Like I said at the beginning, check out the van wish list. I have that link down below if you want to help out. Like I said, I don't really need any of this stuff. This is just better quality of life type stuff, for the bus or whatnot. I have everything I need. This is just extra stuff to make it a little bit easier. I think there's like one thing on there I probably should get. It's that it's like that jumper thing, jumps your battery in case it goes out or whatnot. Right. It's that special one shot. I definitely should have one of those.
Yeah, you should.
I should have one anyway. Everyone should. So that's really like the only thing on that list that I probably should get before I leave.
Yeah.
Everything else is just kind of extra stuff that people recommended. But if you want to help out, the link is down below. Appreciate it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Next week, like I said, no show. Week after that, Damien Slippy Reader is on. And we're going to be talking about comic book YouTubers and the influences they have on comics, and what the balancing act is as far as like the YouTubers being paid and through like sponsorships and stuff like that. Something I know a little bit about, and just your thoughts and how you feel about that, and does that come into consideration when you listen to these YouTubers?
It's a great topic
and stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to sharing it. I think you guys will be surprised by some of the information I will provide, because I'll be very open about my history with my sponsors and everything, and exactly how much money's been transferred. I think you guys will be surprised what that dollar amount is.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, guys, that's all. Bob, you want to take us out?
Sure thing. You know what to wait. Maybe stop. Because I almost forgot. I'm on the bus. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. I almost lost it there.